So, as I told already before, we're going to talk about communication, right? Because we did this game with the phone, selling and buying the phone, and we said communication is very important, right? Now, what's very important, very essential with communication? For instance, let me give you an example. How would it be if I would stand like this all day and tell you about communication and how important that is and how interesting that is? So what's happening now? What did I do? I turned. Is that a good thing to do? No. Why not?
There's no connection.
Exactly. There's no connection. So it's about getting connected. If you want to communicate, first thing you have to do is be connected with the person you're communicating to. And what do we do to get connected? Crispin? Yes, you greet these people. That's one first thing to make connection, right? You greet somebody. And what do you do if you greet somebody? You smile. And what else? You shake hands. You introduce yourself. The first thing you do when a customer comes in is make eye contact, right? That's already the first thing. Because then I know as a customer, he saw me coming in. That's okay, because if I have a question, he saw me already, I can ask him or her, right? So eye contact is very, very important. What else? What did you do in this game? This barter game? You made eye contact, you shook hands, and then you started to communicate, right?
Of course, I welcomed Duncan to my shop.
Yes.
Yeah, and because he visited that shop, of course, he immediately said that what he's looking for. And he started.
Yes. So why he was telling what he was looking for, you were?
Okay. By the fact that he came to my shop, okay,
Yes.
I realized that he's coming, so we greeted each other.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, I welcomed him. He directly told me what he's looking for, and we started.
Yes.
And
So by that time you were listening, right?
Yes, I was listening.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah.
Pay attention to the other one.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Listen very well. Listen to what the customer is telling you, because he's actually telling you a secret, because he's having a wish, a problem, or something you should solve, or you can solve. So if you listen very well to that story, you're going to use that story to sell what you want to sell, right? So listen very clearly. Pay attention. Make eye contact. And if you start talking, talk very clearly. And that's all what you did, actually, right? If you look at communication as a whole, right, and we would draw it here like a circle, like here, and we would divide this in 3 different parts, how would that look like? The first part is the nonverbal part. There's another part which is called words, and another one which is called voice. So everything you do with your voice is this. Everything which is about words is here. And this is nonverbal. This together is also called the verbal part, right? Now, let me ask you this. If we know that we can divide this circle into 3 parts, which part belongs where? What do you think? Which is the nonverbal part, which is the words, and which is the voice part? Duncan, you were raising your hand, but
I believe the non-verbal is part.
the nonverbal. And which one? Which one of the bigger parts? This one or this one? This one. Okay. And the rest?
Then the words.
This the words? And this would be the voice. Okay. Damaris, what do you think?
For me, I would say number 1, but non-verbal goes to the bigger side of the 3 quarters.
This is nonverbal. Okay, and this, what about these two?
Those are the words.
Which one?
The donor one is the words.
These are the words?
Yeah, the words. And the voice is,
This is the voice.
yeah.
Okay, Damaris, congratulations. This is nonverbal. The words are here, the smallest part, and your voice is this one. If you want percentages, this would be 7%, this would be 38, and this would be 55. More than half of our communication is nonverbal. Any questions about this? Or any remarks or maybe doubts? Paul? No? The funny thing is that many people think that words is the biggest part of our communication. But words are only the written things, the letters we put together and call them words. If you pick up the phone, you have words and your voice. So if you are making a phone call, you have these two things together, which is almost half of your whole communication. But the biggest part of our communication is the whole nonverbal part. That's interesting, I think, isn't it? That's interesting. Because if you walk in somewhere, whether it's a shop or a bank or whatever it will be, maybe you're applying for a job, the first thing people deal with is this part. You didn't say a word, they didn't hear your voice, but they already have an impression of you, only by walking in the door, inside the room. Let me give you a demonstration. Hello. 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 Hi. Yeah, that's one. That's another one. Hello, everybody. Hi. Hi there. How are you?
We're fine.
Fine? Okay, good. Hi, everyone. So what's the difference? What's the impression of the first person coming in? The first impression you have.
The second one, you're a bit more bold. The first one, you are timid.
Yes. Okay, it's true. Yes.
I thought you don't know where you're going.
Sorry?
I thought the first knock, maybe you came in, but you're not so sure where you're going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, insecurity. So I do exaggerate these two personalities, these two characters, right? Of course I do, to make clear what the difference can be. But we as human beings are able to pick up this little, small, very tiny details. Only the look in somebody's eyes, or the mouth, or the way we look or walk, like this, or this, or this, or this, or this. You know, there is a lot of difference in there, which tells us, careful. Somebody's coming like this. Yeah, you see, oh my God, what's going to happen, right? And we actually know exactly what the other one is trying to say without hearing his voice or words or whatever. So the nonverbal part is huge. Be aware of that fact, because every time you walk in somewhere, you make a first impression, right? And you never get a second chance for a first impression, they say. Because somebody's coming in and say, oh yeah, that's the insecure guy. I know him. Oh, okay, be careful with this guy, because he's, my God, right? That's the first impression we store up here, and that's the image we get of somebody's personality or whatever that will be. You could also give the wrong impression, right? You could be overwhelming. You could be like, hey, hi, how are you, Chris? Hey, fine, man, good to see you. And this guy is thinking, my God, who's this? He's crazy. I don't know the guy, What is he doing? Stay away from me. Huh? So it could be too much. Be conscious of the fact that it is like this, and we could confuse people. So if you work with your groups, you should really explain this by giving them examples, like walking inside, outside the door, coming in the room or whatever you do, right? But you can express it very clearly, and everybody will understand. The message is, when you go for a job somewhere, be aware of that. Now, how do you walk in? How do you look at the other person? How do you shake hands? How do you talk? What's your body language actually telling the other person, right? And you should really keep in mind, what is my goal of this conversation? Why am I walking into this bank? Do I want to start my business? Do I need some money from the bank? What kind of impression do I want to make here? What do I want them to think of me? Hey, this is a good entrepreneur. He knows what he's doing. He's strong. He's secure. He's motivated. He can communicate. He's making contact with me. He's polite, neat, I don't know what. Or do they think, I don't know, the business plan is okay, but the person itself, I don't think he's going to make it. If this happens, he's crying, he's timid. No, let's not give this guy a loan. So talking about communication, and you just did a game with that, you actually did it all by yourself. It was automatically. You came in, you shook hands, you started talking, you made contact. Perfect. But this is how it works. This is his theory behind it, right? There's much more to tell about communication. I think it's a very interesting subject. Let me ask you something. I will mention one word, and I will ask some of you the first thing that comes up in your mind when I mention that word. Okay? Basketball. What do you think of? Basketball. Ball. Basketball.
Accuracy.
Sorry?
Accuracy. Aiming.
Accuracy. Okay, very good. What do you think? Speed. Basketball. What do you think of? Strength. Okay, this is funny because the input is the same. I say basketball. You say ball. Speed. No, you said speed, right? Strength, speed, accuracy. That's funny. I mentioned one thing, and 4 different things come out. Right? How come? Why is that? Why would that be, Damaris?
I think because of different perceptions or the processing of the information received.
Yes, very well. The processing of the information which is received. Great, wonderful, because this is what happens. Now, let's say this is a hat, right? Looks like it, okay? That's not bad. Okay, so there is some input here. Let's call it input. We hear things, we see things, we feel things, we taste things, smell things. Okay? So with all our senses, there is some input we register. Right? So the first thing we do is generalize, deform, and select all kind of things. That's the way our brain works. Why? Because otherwise we would go crazy, completely nuts. Did anybody realize how hard this chair is you're sitting on? Until I told you. I mentioned the chair, and then you start, oh yeah, now I feel the chair. Did you feel it before? No, because you were not aware of it. It was filtered out. Your brain say, the chair, okay, it's there, we feel it, we don't need it now, forget about it. You don't know the temperature of this room until I mention it. Then you realize, oh, the temperature, yeah. You didn't know the light was on until I mention it. Did you know the sun was shining outside? Now you remember because you saw it in the break. But you filtered that out, right? So those things are not important at this time, they're not relevant. You put them aside, and you select the things which are relevant for now. So here's the input. Whoops, that comes in. So first we shift, we throw away things, we don't need that, we don't need that. This is relevant now. And then comes in this, which we call filters. I'm too small for this. My God, who put the board here? During our life, we build up all kinds of filters. We have a certain education, we have a cultural background, maybe we are from a certain tribe, we are raised by certain people, we went to school, we have a job, we have all kinds of experiences, maybe we have a religion, right? All those things together are in our filters. So when I had a bad experience with maybe playing basketball, because I got injured, somebody threw the ball and I broke my thumb. So if somebody mentions basketball to me, I think, this thumb, that's not nice basketball. Let's not talk about basketball. Somebody else maybe playing basketball for years and is very successful, I think basketball, wow, great, wonderful. So the output is completely different because of the filters in here. Right? Here are the filters up here. This gray thing here. Right? So these filters define what the output will be. How do I react? How do I behave? What do I say? How do I make contact with somebody? Right? It's all based on our filters. And everybody has different filters. That's why everybody responds differently on the word basketball. Okay? That's because of the filters. Good. So, maybe you think, okay, nice story. So now what? What do we do with this? A hat, filters? Okay, good look. Now what? What are we going to do? What can you do with this? How can you use this information? How could we use this information? If we know everybody has different filters, what does that mean? Me having a shop, for instance, telling things to customers might cause a completely different behavior, a completely different output, because I don't know which filters are in your head. So I have to be aware of that. I can say, hello, good morning, how are you? Fine, if you need anything, I can help you. And then the customer is walking through my shop, and I keep following him because I think, okay, if I can help him, if he needs help, I'm here. Hi, customer, I see you, I'm here. But a customer might think, what is he doing here? Come on, leave me alone. I just want to look around. Get off my back, I don't like this. Maybe this customer has some reason for that, right? But if you're not aware of that, the customer might never come back. Okay? So in communication, you have to deal with that. You have to be aware of that everybody has different filters. Any questions so far? Any remarks? Anything else you want to say or add or whatever? Yes? Damaris.
I'm looking at when we are trying not to give out information, especially maybe to our customers. How can I set that information in a way that it will give the right output from every person who receives that information? Aware that we have different filters.
So actually your question is, how can I communicate most efficiently so people are really going to buy what I offer? I think your information should be complete, but not too much. If you look at websites, for instance, if you are on the internet, you look at websites, if they're too long, if there are too many clicks, you have to go to the next page, next page, next page. People stop. 1, 2 clicks, then it's over. They're impatient. So that's one very important thing. I think you should tell about the advantages. Actually, it's about the game we did with the phone, right? Think about what your customer needs. Try to find out what he needs and what he wants, and then adapt your message to that. So try to walk a mile in the shoes of the customer. What does he need? What does this customer want? And what can I offer him then? Maybe I should change this or add this or that, add some value to your product, like you did too, right? So we saw this, right? Nonverbal is the biggest part. We know about our filters, which cause a different output, though the input is the same. Anything else? Anything you want to ask? No? Okay, it's okay. Well, I have two nice exercises. We're just thinking what we should do. Two nice exercises which make very clear how important and how difficult communication actually is. Let's do one. Let me see. I can take a piece of paper. I'm going to make a drawing here, just a simple drawing, and I'm going to ask one of you to stand here with the drawing and explain the other ones how to draw the same thing without showing the drawing. Okay? Just an easy drawing. Damaris, this is a drawing. I want you to explain your fellow trainees what is this, and tell them in a way that they can make the same drawing. Can you do that? At least give it a try? Okay, good. Good. Don't show them. Just hold it. Here, that's it. Okay, take a piece of paper, a pen. Listen very well to Damaris. She's going to explain the drawing, and let's see if you can make the same drawing. Okay? Go ahead.
Okay, my friends, here's some drawing I'm going to make. It's a kind of three objects supporting each other. And the way we are going to do it, just follow my hand where it goes. And you come out successfully, okay?
Oh, wait. No, I didn't tell that. That's not allowed. It's very smart, but it's not allowed to point and then they can draw it. It's too easy. Just tell them. Only tell. Only tell. Because we're only going to use this. You see? Words and voice. So we skip the nonverbal thing. So pointing, not allowed. Okay? Okay.
From the top of your paper, you start going up the line. And you come down at the same level where you started. Then when you reach the point, you make a straight line to join the two corners. You make a straight line to join the corners. I repeat. You start at the middle of your paper. You draw a line straight up, vertically up. Then you come down
On the same?
to the same point, on the same level of the point where you started. Then from there, you make a straight line to join the two ends. In other words, make a triangle.
Somehow.
Oh. At the middle of the triangle, make a new triangle. At the middle, bottom of the triangle, make another triangle. Down. Are you together? At the right side of the second triangle, at the right side of the second triangle, you start at the corner, you make a square. The corner of the second triangle at your right, you make a square. Make sure your objects are joined. The test is finished.
Okay. Wait here. Can you show the drawing so we can see it? That's Duncan is pretty close. Crispine is pretty close. It's a start. And Pauline actually made the same drawing as here.
And Kinar also.
Oh, yeah,
made the
yeah, yeah,
same.
yeah. Okay, good.
You are good students.
Yes, they're good students. And you're a good instructor. So, what do we learn from this? Was it easy? No, right? Why?
Because the wordings were not connected. You know where to start from.
Yes, yes.
The second thing which he brought the conviction was he said, we do the first round, then start the second round in the middle.
Yes.
So then we want to put the second one inside the
Yes, yes, that's what Paul did too, right? I heard the instructions, I think, okay, I could imagine somebody's drawing a triangle in the triangle, right? Yeah. So you see how difficult it is to give right instructions, right? That's difficult. Yeah, to give these instructions in a way that people really understand what you mean. Especially if you cannot use nonverbal communication, all right? So this shows how complicated communication can be, right? This is difficult. Imagine if you're the boss of a company and you want to instruct the people who work for you, your employees, combining this with all those filters in there, man, this communication could get really messy, isn't it? So, try to be clear. And what can you do to find out if you have been clear? What could you do? I give the instructions and then what?
Maybe you ask questions. Did you understand the lesson?
Yeah, and then somebody says yes, and then you still don't know anything actually. Because if we would have asked, do you understand? Did you have a drawing? Yes. Okay, then we're finished. There was one drawing actually the same as that one. The rest wasn't. Okay? So maybe you could check and say, can you repeat what I said? Can you explain what my intention is? All right? It's very important. Okay? Good. Any questions about this? No? Okay. Then we can go to the next chapter. All right? Okay, good.